Our our 6-year-old daughter, which she would say, "Man, he's preaching now. He's preaching now." Uh, that's good stuff, man. A couple of things, a lot of things that you said jumped out at me. And one is that it is amazing how our plans may be one thing, but man, God's plan is so much bigger, and He has something else planned. And
That's right.
it's amazing to me, even at ICC, like you were saying, community college, when you first started out, all the way through DC to Mississippi State to where you are now, you've been around some pretty amazing leaders, some, I mean, high level leaders. And I'll tell you, Tyler, one of my core beliefs is that we are truly in need of more leaders with a pure conscience, a pure heart, that are full of faith, to be pursuing high levels of leadership. Because people in a high level of leadership and influence, those are the people that shape culture. They shape businesses. They shape communities and colleges too, right? And we need leaders who have the pure heart, pure motives, and all those kind of things. And man, you're that, man. You have that. And I'm curious to know, though, you've been around some high level leaders. What are some things that have stuck out to you, that those maybe some habits of the high level leaders, or some, just some wisdom that you've picked up from the leaders you've been around?
Well, Cory, I think first and foremost, it's important in leadership to be reminded that as a leader, one of your largest jobs is going to be understanding people, and understanding that different that everyone reacts differently to situations. Everyone, they work differently. They interact with others differently. So it's really about understanding individuals. And so that is one thing that I've been able to learn from all of the past leaders that I've worked with, is watching them interact with others, and how they're able to say, whether it's in a negotiation scenario, to where how they're able to lay out their side of the story, and listen to the other individual, and then come back and compromise, and the art of compromising. And so that is one thing, is being able to see how leaders that I've worked for in the past, to see how they're able to interact with others. Secondly, I've been able to also see the importance of being a good listener. Um, you know, I have worked for leaders that were not so good at listening to others. But that is the thing, whenever you're working for other leaders, you're going to pick up on traits that either A, you want to continue, and you want to also include in your leadership styles, or B, you understand that you don't want to lead that way. And again, it's all part of God's plan, because He sent you down that journey so that you could learn those opportunities, or could take those pieces away from those opportunities. So, being a good listener, I realize more and more every day that sometimes an individual, they just want to be heard, and they know that you're in that leadership role, and they just want to be heard. They want that person that's in that seat to be able to hear them. So I guess that's one of the other that I have worked for some great leaders that are amazing listeners. I go back to whenever I worked for Amy Tuck, former lieutenant governor. She used to get phone calls, and she would laugh to hear me say this. She used to get phone calls in the office, and I would ask who it was. They would tell me who they were. They'd say, "Yes, I'm her cousin." And I would say, "Okay, well, I'll take a message and we'll have her call you back." We'll take it to Miss Tuck, and she would laugh and say, "They're not my cousin. However, we're going to call them back, and we will make them feel as if they are my cousin, because that is truly all that they feel like they're part of the family." She has created that culture from people that she surrounds herself with, is that they're heard, they're part of the family, that she's listening. And so ultimately that is the culture that she had created and surrounded herself with, and that is the table, the people that she was bringing to the table. So it's kind of funny. I still now joke some with our assistant in the office that, was it, are they related? are they related to me or just, so yeah, it's being a good listener. It's so important.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah, we we talk a lot about leadership. A lot of people know how to communicate, but they don't know how to connect. Not many know how to
That's right.
connect, and exactly what you're saying is that listening. And I love what you said about the culture she created, because
Hmm.
one of the things people may forget what you say or what you do, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And I just
That's
love
right.
what you said, that she said, well, we're going to make them feel like they're my
Hmm.
cousin. Man, that's awesome, and